The night was cruel. Snow fell thick and fast, covering the lonely stretch of road like a cold white blanket. The wind howled through the mountains, making it almost impossible to see. Ethan Miles, a successful CEO of a top medical tech company, gripped the steering wheel of his black SUV as the tires crunched over the ice. He had just left an exhausting board meeting and was heading to his cabin to escape the noise of the city. All he wanted was silence. But as he turned the corner, his headlights caught something that made his heart stop. A woman, holding two tiny babies wrapped in thin blankets, standing helplessly by a broken-down car. He slammed the brakes. The woman's face was pale, her lips trembling. Her clothes were soaked, and the babies were crying softly against her chest. She looked terrified and frozen. Ethan jumped out, his coat flapping in the wind. "Hey, are you okay?" he shouted, his voice cutting through the storm. The woman looked up weakly. "Please, I need help. My car stopped working. I can't get it to start." Her voice was shaking, her eyes full of desperation. Ethan immediately took off his coat and wrapped it around her. "Get in my car. It's warm inside." She hesitated for a moment. Strangers could be dangerous, but the cold was unbearable, and her babies were shivering. So she nodded and climbed into his SUV. Once inside, Ethan turned up the heat and handed her a bottle of water. "Thank you," she whispered, her teeth chattering. "No need," he said softly. "I'm Ethan. Clara," she replied, "and these are my babies, Lily and Liam." He smiled faintly. "They're beautiful." As the warmth began to fill the car, Clara finally exhaled, tears rolling down her cheeks. Ethan noticed her red, swollen eyes. "You've been crying," he said gently. "What happened?" She looked down, clutching her babies tighter. "I lost everything today," she said in a broken voice. "My house, my job, everything." He frowned. "How?" "I worked as a nurse," she said, "at Greenfield Hospital, but they laid me off last week. I couldn't pay the rent. The landlord threw us out this morning. I was driving to my sister's house in the next town, but the car broke down in the storm." She wiped her eyes. "I thought I could make it, but I didn't know where else to go." Ethan's chest tightened. He was a single father too. His wife had died giving birth to their daughter, Emma. He knew what it was like to struggle alone, to hold a baby in the dark and wonder how you'd survive another day. "Where's your husband?" he asked softly. Clara hesitated. "He left before the twins were born," she said. "Said he wasn't ready for responsibility." Ethan's jaw clenched. "Coward." For a moment, silence filled the car, except for the soft breathing of the twins. Ethan looked at her again. "It's too dangerous to drive now. My cabin's not far. You can stay there tonight." Her eyes widened. "Oh, I can't impose." "You're not imposing," he interrupted gently. "It's freezing, and your babies need warmth." Finally, she nodded. When they reached the cabin, Ethan quickly lit the fireplace. The soft orange glow filled the room as Clara sat near it, rocking her babies. The flames danced against her tired face, making her look both fragile and strong. Ethan brought her a blanket and some hot soup. "Here, you must be starving." "Thank you," she whispered again, her voice trembling not from the cold but from emotion. He watched her feed the babies, careful and loving, even though she looked like she might collapse any moment. "You're a good mother," he said quietly. She smiled faintly. "I try. They're all I have." Later that night, after the twins finally slept, Ethan checked on his daughter Emma, who was asleep in her room. He stood by the door, thinking about Clara. Something about her had touched him. Her quiet strength, her selflessness, her pain. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the cabin windows. The storm had passed. Clara was already awake, cleaning up the living room. "You didn't have to do that," Ethan said, walking in with coffee. "I couldn't just sit and do nothing," she smiled weakly. "You helped me. I want to help too." He handed her a mug. "Here, you look like you need this." She took it gratefully. As they talked, he learned more about her life. How she'd been working double shifts to support her twins, how she loved helping patients, and how she never complained despite the hardships. He admired her deeply. "Do you have somewhere to go now?" he finally asked. Clara hesitated. "My sister said she couldn't take us in. Her husband isn't comfortable with, well, 3 more mouths to feed." Ethan sighed. "Then stay here, just until you get back on your feet." Clara looked stunned. Ethan, I can't accept that. You've done too much already. He shook his head. You're not alone anymore, Clara. She blinked back tears. Thank you. No one's ever said that to me. Days turned into weeks. Clara began helping around the cabin, cooking meals, cleaning, even taking care of little Emma. The house felt alive again. Laughter filled the rooms. The babies giggled when Ethan made silly faces, and even he started smiling more often. Clara and Ethan grew closer, quietly, naturally. One night, while tucking the children in, Ethan found Clara standing by the window, staring at the falling snow. You okay? He asked softly. She nodded. It's just, I still can't believe all this. For the first time in months, I feel safe. He stepped closer. You deserve that. Their eyes met. The warmth between them was undeniable. But then she looked away. I should find a job soon. I don't want to depend on anyone. Ethan smiled. I might be able to help with that. The next day, he took her to his company, Miles Medical Technologies. As they walked through the gleaming halls, Clara looked around in awe. This place is incredible, she said. It's where we make healthcare equipment, he explained. But what we really need are people who care. Real caregivers. Like you. She looked at him in shock. You mean? He nodded. I'd like you to join our medical outreach team. We need someone with compassion, not just skill. Tears welled in her eyes. Ethan, I don't know what to say. Say yes, he smiled. She laughed through her tears. Yes. Months passed. Clara flourished in her new job, and everyone admired her kindness. The twins were growing fast, and Emma adored them like siblings. One afternoon, Ethan returned from a business trip to find the children playing in the yard while Clara watched, smiling. The sight filled his heart with warmth he hadn't felt in years. He walked up to her. They look happy. They are, she said softly. Because you gave them a home. He shook his head. You did that, Clara. You brought life back to this place. They stood in silence for a moment before he took her hand. Clara, I lost my wife years ago. I thought I'd never love again. But you, he hesitated, searching her eyes. You've changed everything. Her eyes glistened. Ethan, he stepped closer, his voice trembling. I don't want this to end when the snow melts. Stay. Not because you need help, but because I need you. Tears rolled down her cheeks as she nodded. I was praying for a miracle that night in the snow. I guess I found one. He smiled softly. We both did. A year later, the cabin was filled with laughter again, but this time for a new reason. Ethan and Clara stood together in the same spot they first met, snow gently falling around them. In her arms were the twins, and beside them, little Emma held a bouquet of flowers. Ethan looked into Clara's eyes and whispered, I promise to love you, protect you, and never let you cry alone again. Clara smiled, tears glistening in her eyes. And I promise to stand by you, through every storm. As they exchanged vows, the snow sparkled like diamonds under the winter sun. From that night of despair came a family, built not from blood, but from kindness, courage, and love. And whenever people asked Ethan about the woman he married, he'd simply smile and say, she was the miracle I found in the snow. Title: Single Dad CEO found a nurse crying with her twin baby in a snowstorm, unaware she'd lost everything. Description: a powerful emotional story about a single dad CEO who discovers a nurse stranded with her babies in a snowstorm. What begins as an act of kindness turns into a life-changing journey of love, hope, and second chances. Perfect for storytelling and inspirational audiences.